Heavy Rain is the first game from the amazing developer Quantic Dream, and I was super excited to play this because I played Detroit Become Human, and it's honestly one of my favorite works of art in the entire world. That game is so perfect in so many ways, and so I decided to play the other games, Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. And with this one, I thought it was so great. I thought it had a great story, great characters. And for being a game from 2010, I thought it was very well done. Although there were some things that turned me off in the beginning, over time I got used to Heavy Rain style and the way it looked for a while because the graphics look a little bit outdated, and I think that might turn off away some players. However, like the story gets so intense and you get so engaged into the video game that you kind of just forget about all that stuff. So, anyways, I'm gonna go and describe a little bit about what I liked about Heavy Rain and talk a little bit about the story and the ending or endings, which kept me very captivated and it interested me a lot. So, okay, here we go. This game is absolutely groundbreaking. So Quantic Dream is special for making these interactive dramas, which feel a lot like a film or a TV show, and with the difference that you can control what the characters do, their decisions, and determine the outcome. And what I love about Heavy Rain is that you can choose, like the endings that you can get in the end are so diverse, and there's so many choices you can make along the way that change the whole course of the story. So you got to pay a lot of attention, be very engaged in the game in order to make the right choices. So otherwise things will go wrong, especially in the last chapter. And this is a very good thing they did in 2010 because it set the path for games like the Life is Strange series and Telltale's The Walking Dead, which are also some of my favorite video games of all time. I really love interactive drama. I think it's groundbreaking, and I think it's a genre that will evolve in the future as the graphics and the motion capture technology keeps advancing. I think these games will get more realistic, better, and overall just super good to the point where they'll feel like a film, like you're actually playing in a movie. But anyways, I think the graphics were okay. Not as good, for well, I mean, kind of good for 2010, but all like otherwise, there are so many things to enjoy that you'll forget about, kind of like the graphics at the time. So during Heavy Rain's story, you control four characters, and each one has their own personality, their own journey, and they all basically interact with each other with the same goal, which is finding a serial killer named the Origami Killer, which is it's a killer who goes and captures children and then drowns them with rainwater, and it's all under pressure because he has another character's name is Ethan, who has been through some really heavy stuff in the past, and he loses his son. And like during the course of the game, he tries to find him, and basically it's all about finding clues, trying to get to the next place, and it feels a lot like an old movie, like a movie from the 90s or 80s where like it has a lot of elements from detective movies, also some horror movies. I felt a lot of horror influences in Heavy Rain, which I enjoyed a lot. Like horror is one of my favorite genres of all time, and I enjoyed it so much. And towards the end, I felt like every single story in the game kind of like reached the conclusion, which I'll talk about next with, well, kind of like going into spoilers and stuff. So if you want to play Heavy Rain, you should, skip towards the end because I'm going to talk about spoilers. So the game has a lot of plot twists. It has a lot of twists and turns during the story. And there are so many paths you can take. Like there are actually moments where the characters can die. And this is something that happens in Detroit Become Human too. Like you can have a character die in the middle of the game and then he just straight up doesn't show up later on, and you miss a lot of stuff. And I think that's if you accidentally kill a character, then you'll miss out on a lot of things. So it's good and bad in certain ways. It's good because it keeps you like on the edge of your seat, kind of just like trying to choose your decisions very carefully in order for the characters to survive. And also it's bad because like if you think like it's part of the game, and you're gonna miss out on a lot of content, which is for new new gamers and stuff, like that wouldn't be very good, and it will kind of like take away from the enjoyment of the game, which is something that also happens in Detroit Become Human. So like to get the full experience, you have to take care of each character. But otherwise, I think the game is great. So like in the end, all the storylines come together, and it's revealed that actually Scott is the killer. And this took me off completely by surprise. I was like super surprised by this revelation, but I thought it was good. I thought it was great, and it really made me enjoy the game so much. And also the endings are so diverse. Like the endings range from kind of just like happy and super victorious. Like there's I got the good ending. Like I without cheating. Like I didn't go and see how to get good ending in Heavy Rain. Like I actually tried my best to keep all the characters alive and just reach the end without screwing up too much. And also there's also like some of the most depressing endings I've ever seen anywhere, like in a movie, video game. Like there's some really depressing stuff in some of the endings. Like there's one where Ethan doesn't save his son and some really bad stuff happens. And seeing those endings on YouTube really depressed me, but also like made me glad that I didn't get those paths. But anyways, I think the Heavy Rain is super worth it to check out, and I think it's a great experience. If you get through the beginning, I thought the beginning, like the first hour or two, were kind of boring, and I was like, oh, this game is probably not as good as the others. But it takes a while to get to the good stuff. So if you play, just keep playing through those like first 2 hours, and then you'll get to the good stuff. But otherwise, like I'm gonna give it its final score. So I think Heavy Rain deserves an 82 out of 100. It's not as good as Detroit Become Human and Beyond Two Souls, but it's still a great experience that I think a lot of gamers will enjoy. But anyways, that's all for today. If you enjoyed this review, go play Heavy Rain, and just yeah, that's everything. So see ya.